Here's the deal. If you can play this... No, excuse me. If you can play this... you can play the whole song. So have fun doing your cover. Hello. So, hello. So, now that we both finished the song number 2, The Human Condition, I thought I'd do like we did with Girl from Ganymede and do a bit of a look-through of the song itself, kind of identify what we did and how we wrote it, and just give a quick overlook on the song structure itself and the chords that we used. So for this, I'll be using my guitar and kind of giving you a bit of an example of what I did. Though it won't be much because in this song, the guitar isn't very present. It's not with the last song where we had me solo through a part of a song. Like... there's none of that. Essentially, here's the deal. If you can play this... No, excuse me. If you can play this... you can play the whole song. So have fun doing your cover. Alright, so let's start with... let's just go from bottom to top, and then we can kind of... from top to bottom, and then we can kind of go through a bit what we did. So, same thing as always. For the drums, we're going through a very kind of mellow kind of drum, very electric kit kind of sounding, and it's very slow. The whole song is very... it's based on a mood rather more than anything else. So it's almost ambient, where if the vocals were not carrying the music itself, it would feel like background music, which is not what you want to do when you're writing a song that's supposed to have parts and, essentially a song that people want to listen to or sing along, or, it's essentially a mix of a lot of different ideas. But essentially, which is because it's more based around a mood and a feeling, we have the drums kick in a lot later in through the song. And so they only start playing at around 20 seconds in. And this is what they sound like. You're getting a really boomy snare. I love adding a lot of echo on the snare to really make it pop, because I think in a drum sound, the snare is probably your most important part, because it's really what makes the head bob. Essentially, we're repeating a lot of parts. We're repeating different parts, and we're just adding a different groove every time. But it's nothing any really extraordinary or out of this world. Pretty standard. Now what you're hearing is the choir. It's just booming out when it's not needed. That's just a VST I use. we'll get to that later. So for the keyboard, I'm using always using easy keys, and I'm using the Dream Machine because I think Dream Machine is just the best for sounds. But I'm using a preset called Snowfall, and it's really good for soundscapes. And it's just essentially repeating the intro chords, which are these. Which are F sharp minor and B minor. And then we cue in everything. And there we go. Next we have a choir, and what's fun about the choir is I don't really get to use it because it sounds very campy in certain contexts. But for this it works because unlike with a lot of other songs that I write, it's very active on the guitar. So it's like the sound of that in that song. So it really helps to like seal everything together and really create a bigger soundscape. So this is what the choir sounds by itself. And it will just repeat that during the whole song, but it kind of fluctuates in volume. But here's what it sounds like within the whole song. You don't really hear it, but it's there, and it creates kind of a fuller sound. It's also very present around the end, where you're going to hear it a lot more, and it kind of pops in better. But still subtle, but it makes sure that it doesn't sound too empty. It fills in the holes. Now, guitar, pretty much same old, same old. Just strumming through the chords that I showed a bit before. And essentially, I'm going to try and get this. I'm picking through the patterns in the beginning because I'm playing them one by one legato style. So, like so. And then I'm going. And at the end, I'm moving my last finger and I'm going. So like this. Just a little subtlety like that. But then it's just strumming. So it's. And then. Simple as that. You don't have to make stuff complicated to sound good. And if anything, the last 10 years of music have very much proved that. And now we get to the bass. And the bass, again, also because the bass doesn't really play a lot in this, I'm trying to get it to follow the drum beat rather than the guitar. So if you listen to it with the drums, you can see the bass is trying to follow the drum pattern. But it's not playing much because it'd be weird if a bass was really being active in this kind of song because it wouldn't really fit the purpose. Then we're going into vocals. So this is fun because I always like putting in vocals because, again, Cole is a fantastic vocalist. I have to repeat it because it's true. But it's always fun because specifically vocals are probably the easiest part to mix because it's always dependent on the singer. If a singer does a good job, then you don't really need to do much. It's just performance and some overdubs in certain areas.
To its order by a loving God, they tell us.
The one thing is that once you boost the vocals at a certain level, you start hearing a lot of background noise. It's important to make sure that you don't hear it when you're finishing the vocals. So after you compress it and add a lot of reverb, because for this kind of song, you want to have a very spacious song, spacious vocals, because it's a song in space. But yeah, So you want to get rid of a background noise, compress the vocals so they sound equal, and then add a lot of reverb, and you get something like this.
To its order by a loving God, they tell us while others believe it was saved by a Genesis.
And then you add the overdubs during the chorus.
I do begin to wonder, will we ever penetrate the great
Magnificent.
filter?
And then at the end, we have an outro. And because the outro, we get rid of the drums and it's much more peaceful, I wanted to give it a kind of a lo-fi effect. So you hear it like this.
Oh, to find yourself at the peak of your prime, burning with desire for change within your lifetime. Will we ever penetrate the great...
So yeah, a bit shorter than the last one, but I still think it's a really great song. It was really fun to work on something a lot more peaceful and kind of just, okay, we're working with this song. We're very much working to make a great backing track for vocals, because the vocals are what are going to carry essentially a very repetitive pattern. So it was really fun to kind of think within that aspect this time around. And that's about it. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you give it a like and a subscribe, and you go rewatch The Human Condition, because we're going to be releasing the next song very soon, and we can't wait to talk about what's going to happen in the future. So thanks again, and see you later.